Barrasso.
Well, thanks so much, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Sweeney, if I could start with you. The House Democrats, to me, reckless tax and spending spree is going to impose new fees and new royalties on existing and new mines on federal lands. In addition, the House Democrats would impose a dirt tax on any material that's moved during a mining operation. Under the House Democrats' proposal, American miners will owe the federal government the highest rate of royalties, taxes, and fees in the world. If the House Democrats' proposal is enacted, is it fair to expect U.S. mining operations to close?
Absolutely. I think if you look at all three of those very punitive fiscal provisions in the House package that you mentioned, the 8% gross, the 4% on existing, and the dirt tax, just any one of those could have a profound impact on the industry. You take all three of those and impose them at the same time, you're looking at mines definitely premature closure, and you're not going to attract any additional investment in the United States. Other countries, will reap the benefits.
So then specifically, Mr. Haddock and then Mr. Brown, how would your mines on federal lands be affected with all of these three things?
Importantly, I think our operations would continue. We can't pick them up. We can't move them. But what would happen is I kind of describe our business as being on a treadmill. We are constantly trying to replace the resources that we deplete as we move through the year. And the way we do that is through investment. It's through exploration investment. It's through R&D, coming up with ways to convert what would otherwise be waste into ore. Is a very, very large investment. And so what happens in our industry is, we have to balance our capital throughout the world and throughout our other deposits. So we would continue to mine our deposits, but our growth profile in the United States would continue to decline. And particularly with the gross royalties, it would decline much, much faster.
Okay. And Mr. Brown?
Yes, it would have... It would have a significant impact on us. An 8% royalty, a 7 cent per ton so-called dirt tax, and understand that in the bentonite industry, we take the overburden out of the pit, we put it on the bank. That's the first touch. We put it back in the pit to do the reclamation. That's the second touch. The bentonite we touch is oftentimes 3 times before it ever gets to the plant to go through the processing. So I don't fully understand how that tax would apply, but and then perhaps any of the other fees or the cost of, the additional cost of monitoring the whole process through our operation, it would create a significant burden to us that very likely we would not be able to pass through to our customers because of the nature of many of our customers. It might very likely open up the possibility of competition from overseas as well.
So you're a 70-year-old family-owned bentonite mining operation. You joined the company in 1980. As you noted in your prepared remarks, it now takes about 7 years to permit a bentonite mine on federal land. Can you discuss how permitting delays for mining on federal land has grown over the past decade or so, and can then discuss the impact of these permitting delays have had on your company in terms of cost?
I'll give you an example. It used to be that we were able to permit in roughly 14, 15 months. We just received a permit that was critically needed for our Thermopolis operation, and it took over 7 years. Had we not gotten that permit, that plant would have been at risk of shutting down in 2022 because we didn't have all of the resources needed to feed the plant.
So as Congress is considering changes to the mining law of 1872, should it also be considering meaningful permitting reform for mines on federal land?
I believe so.
Okay.
It should be part of it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Now we're